Muted.
Who's muted?
You were for a second. You're okay now.
What's going on? What are you drinking tonight?
Just the usual, some beers. How about you? Oh, looks like a fancy one. What do you got there?
It's my last apple cider. I gotta go get some more.
Right on.
So what are we going to talk about tonight? Besides lawyers getting beat up when they go to court.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's go to the big problem, the scourge of Canada, and especially the Niagara region in Ontario with predators. These pedophiles are everywhere. Hundreds, thousands.
All right. Your guest is here, Jimmy. I see him in the background. Should we bring him in?
Sure, let's pop him on in. Now, you ready, Jimmy? Give us a thumbs up.
All right, there you go. Welcome to the lounge. What are you drinking? Cheers.
Cheers. Water.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
So a lot of pedophiles in the Niagara region, it seems, these days, eh?
Way too many. Way too many. And it's the problem is the judges keep letting them out. So
yeah, I'm gonna back that a little bit up. Not that I'm defending judges, but judges, they're within that legislation. I'm gonna blame it more on the politicians, because they're the ones that write that legislation. So we got Trudeau, we got the Conservative Party, you got all of them are all at fault for this, not any single party, because they're all doing it together. Like our other guest has popped in there, Ed.
All right, Rob, you ready to come in? We're gonna pop you in right now. I'm getting a nod in the background. Come on in. How's it going, Rob?
It's going good. How you guys doing tonight?
Good so far.
Good.
How's the camera and audio and all that stuff? I haven't done one of these in quite some time, boys.
That sounds good. Looks good. Hey, it's always nice to see a couple of real men standing up for kids and coming out and showcasing yourselves and let us know what's going on, what you're doing, and what we can expect in the future.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I really don't see any other option. I mean, I think we're living in some really unique times. It seems like, everyone's waiting for this solution that doesn't exist. As you two are very familiar with, we've been hearing for years about foreign interference and, who's really pulling the strings behind the curtains. And I don't think anybody really knows. I mean, it's insane what's going on right now. We're seeing what's going on out west. Houses are being shot up every single day, and people are trying to just act like they're Canadian. We're just nice, and we don't want to talk about what the issue is, and we don't want to hurt people's feelings. And yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of things we can get into, but I know the main focus tonight is what's going on specifically in Ontario. Sorry, I'll turn this off. I'm telling you, the phone never stops, guys. What's going on in Ontario? Yeah, I don't want to just go right off. I'll do that at some point, but we'll talk and we'll get into it slowly.
Well, no, let's get right into it.
All right,
tuning in. So what are the goof busters per se? What are you guys doing? How did you become a goof buster?
Well, I think the best way to answer this of what a goof buster is that I don't really think we know what we are at this point. I know that we are a collective of, everyone. We got men, we got women, we got children that come out. We've got survivors of sexual assault. We actually, one of the most frustrating things I see is we've got a lot of people on the internet who start flapping their gums about who's out there. And it's like, if you're going to critique someone who's out there, don't just come on our post and say that. Come on out and tell them to their face. Because, at first people were saying, why are kids here? Why are there children here? And, looking from the outside, I understand it kind of looks weird. We're having some of these rallies where we're in front of people's houses and, things are getting loud. And we've had scenarios now where citizens have come out on their porch and flashed children. But the part that people don't see is that there's children that stand with us who have had this happen to them. We have a little girl that, I don't want to say too much of her personal information, but this happened to her at a very young age as a child. And, as much as we see the politicians, these far left lunatics and all these people come out on the internet in opposition to what we're doing, I would say that probably 70 to 80% of our community is in favor of this and realizes that this is what we need to do to bring attention to the problem.
Yeah, Rob, and just as an example, just to highlight what you're talking about. So I do remember it was I think it's the ex-party of the ex-leader of the Communist Party was actually at the region trying to oppose any sort of support for a registry to be made public. And not only that, I believe it might have been on your page. I was going on about the abuse that had happened at that military school I was at, and all the the pedophiles that sexually assaulted kids and beat them. And some idiot, this is the mentality of people, said, so what? Children should need to listen. So I'm trying to draw where's the reality, the thought process. Where is this? And what did they say? I said back to them, what? A child doesn't listen, so then you go sexually assault them and beat them? Like, these people make no sense whatsoever.
I mean, yeah, I this Marxist ideology that we've seen completely steamroll into our institutions, it didn't do it overnight, but there's a lot of these people, people, will just, dismiss this as, oh, you're a crazy conspiracy theorist. And me, I clearly don't give a fuck about that. But these people, many of them are pedophiles themselves. And a lot of the people that have been in our institutions and have been in positions of powers and have worked for our governments, the reason they don't want a public sex offender registry is because they have family members on it. They have co-workers on it. There's people in the institution that are on it. It's just a really big problem that people would rather pretend doesn't exist. And when we pretend this doesn't exist, we're never going to get to the bottom of it.
So from what I've seen, I don't think, like you said, it's not something that's new. This has been around for, I'd say, decades. But I remember back in the day, if you would have done something to your kid, something like one of your kids was violated or something, you would quietly get the shit beat out of you, and that would be the end of it.
Yeah, and well, nobody wants to go to jail over a pedophile. As much as you'd like to do something like that, we wouldn't do that. What needs to be done is legislative change. And
yeah, I mean, I probably shouldn't speak to what would happen if someone did this to my child. I'd probably be arrested really quick. But that being said, I mean, people really have to start to realize that the more we let this come creeping into our society, the worse it's going to get. And, just sitting around silently and sharing posts on the internet isn't going to do anything. I think the biggest thing we need to do right now is the opposite. I think that the future is the past. I think we need to go back. I think people need to be getting out in the streets and in the community and having these uncomfortable conversations. I think that people need to go around and knock on their neighbors' doors. Of course, if you're not welcome there, take off. But I mean, you should be trying to engage the public in these conversations. We can't just sit around and be quiet about it anymore because it's not working. And, let's say this does happen to your child. Two things are going to happen. Let's say you become unglued and you have an emotional reaction and you do something that's not going to help you or your family out. Well, then you're going to be in jail. And when you're in jail, who's going to be out there to protect your children and your wife, that this can potentially happen to? So you're really damned if you do, and you're really damned if you don't. But I think the best thing to do is just, like I said, get out there and talk about it. And I appreciate the support, but we have I have men that come in my inbox every day and they're like, "Oh, thank you for what you do. And I aspire to be like you." And it's like, dude, I'm just a dad. Like, what do you look up to me for? Like, come out. If you like what I'm doing, come do it with me. Don't watch me do it and like my video and share my video. I mean, go nuts and do that, but come out in the street, come get active with us, come sit down around a table with us. Let's start to have these discussions. Let's get healthier in the head. We know that these people want us fat, weak, and lazy, and that we got to be the opposite of that.
So this is what I've noticed, and this is why I say that the Niagara region is the capital for pedophilia. And can you imagine what the hell's going to happen here when Ford comes down here and decides he's going to turn Diodati into Niagara Falls into a Las Vegas style? Oh boy, what goes on in Vegas, never mind. And you think it's bad now. So what I've noticed, the biggest thing that I've noticed, the biggest change is the frequency at which this happens. When I was a little kid, because I've been down here all my life, so I've seen everything transform. When I was a kid, you would hear something like this maybe once or twice a year kind of thing. It wasn't that much. And, there'd be all on the news and everything. And the biggest thing was the Seaway Mall when they caught the gays in the bathroom. Being gay back then was illegal. And that was huge news. But what I've noticed now is, Christ, you can't go a freaking day, either at the courthouse or police media releases. And there's freaking how many of them are before the courts daily? It's like a bunch. And never mind what you do here, there's still a ton more that are on there.
Well, that's one of the big main issues is our immigration. I mean, they're totally replacing us. There's 177 pages in the UN agenda that says that they're replacing white people and Canadians and North Americans in general. And when you displace people from their own country, then they turn to crime, they turn to drugs, they turn to unhealthy lifestyles, they turn to just shitty ways of living. And if you import third world, you become the third world, and we see it every single day, and we read about it every single day, right? I mean, there's so many reports of, all these people are a lot of immigrants, and even pedophiles in general they're getting bail easily, or they're getting let out after good behavior, after totally raping children, and it just boggles my mind, and it eats up my soul, honestly. It makes me wonder, I'm like, fuck, man, what's going to happen to my kids? I mean, I always try to pray and think, everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to be fine. But the reality is this is going to be showing up at everyone's doorsteps, and we have to plan. We have to coordinate the attack back to defend what we have left for our kids. And that's why, like I said before, I think that everybody trying to run municipally in their area is the only probably way that we can get this message out and fight back. And obviously showing up on Saturdays and emailing these friggin' narcissistic gaslighting politicians that give us these half-assed responses back. But I mean, I don't know, we're done with the emails. I'm done with all of it. Honestly, I'm ready to just start ripping people out of their fucking houses and their offices and really just I don't know, biting the bullet, but then again, like Rob said, who's going to protect my kids when I'm in jail, right? So it's a fine line that we're walking, and but I don't know, I'm angrier than ever a lot of days, and it's really pissing me off, honestly. And I'm pissed off for you guys because of all the awareness you've made about Robert Land Academy, and they don't even fucking do anything about it, and nothing's being done. Honestly, they just keep letting them out and saying everything's okay. Well, it's not fucking okay.
Yeah,
Stefanos, you've been talking about Robert Land Academy a lot. Can you give people another brief explanation of what's going on there?
What's going on there? We closed them down in June. We shut them down finally, permanently. It's been bought. Now there's a Christian place that has bought it. So let's hope nothing repeats there. Big problem is the fact that private schools are they're not governed such as the public schools are. There's no need for safety or inspection of living conditions or anything like that. There's no requirement for background checks. There's no requirement to be licensed as a teacher. Now, this is why we've got at least, I know there's way more than 2 pedophiles, but 2 come to my name. One I won't say yet. I don't know what's going on with that one. I got to find out. He just lives down the street from the courthouse, even worse. And the other one is a Canadian military. There seems to be a lot of military that are pedophiles. It's Craig Rudery. You can look him up. He was arrested and awaiting sentencing before. And just as he was coming up for his first charges sentencing, they pop him again, another repeat offender, this time up in the Yukon. So, they are all over the place. We had the Somalia affair. We had Mark Boland from that. That was the torture and the sodomy of a kid all night long and then murdered by morning. He was in jail the sec for that. That's Canada's biggest stain on our reputation internationally. And when he got released from prison, straight to that academy. So I don't want to go on about it. I'm sure y'all heard of this before, but there's one thing I want to put a key note on. There's 8 of those staff, teachers, whatever you want to call them, from Robert Land Academy that are now at International Academy in Fort Erie. There should be protests. People should be doing stuff there. Like, how are the police, I'm going to be doing a big exposing thing. I'm going to be exposing Niagara Regional Police and York Regional Police shortly. So it's all backed by evidence. We've had enough of this. If you're wondering why police are protecting pedophiles and stuff, you're about to find out. And they got the protection of the PC Party of Ontario on top of it. So you got Sam of Calandra. Yeah, all of them.
I just wanted to say on that note, I'm not going to say too much right now more than that either, but I think it's too bad we didn't have it queued up to play right now. There's a video I put out on the Goof Busters page, and it was I'm neither here nor there on how I reacted, but let's put it this way. We were visiting an establishment in St. Catharines where there was known convicted, I believe it was trafficking. Yeah, it was child trafficking. Yeah. And when we attended this establishment from across the road to bring awareness to the community and let people know that if you put your money into this business, it may indirectly go towards trafficking children. That is a fact, since this man's been convicted and has a part to do with certain restaurants. Now, when we went to this restaurant, it's the only time in any event we went to where we had a real exchange with the police that kind of got a little bit heated. And, I was very disappointed to see that there were other police officers that were sitting there monitoring the demonstration, which, that's their job, to not pick a side, keep an eye on things, make sure everything goes smooth. But we had no opposition there this day. not only did we have no opposition, everyone was in support of the protest, but the highest ranking police officer, okay, in St. Catharines needed to come to where we were, park in the parking lot, and proceed to take down flyers that people put onto the buildings. Think about all of the stuff you guys have seen in the past few years where, you know, foreigners can come into our nation, protest on our streets, shoot firecrackers, smash windows, bang on cars, and they don't get arrested. But we are putting a flyer on a business, and the police are coming and taking flyers off of that business to, you know, help what? Shield a convicted child trafficker? Like, is that who you really want to be seen supporting? Because I know that these people think and agree with almost all my stances, and they don't want nothing to do with me because, you know, everyone will just call me a white nationalist, white supremacist, whatever you want to call me. And these people don't want to go anywhere near that, but they're okay taking down a sign for a child sex trafficker. That says a lot more about you than it says about me, in my opinion.
Okay, Jimmy, I got a question I got to ask you. What motivated you to get involved with the Goof Busters? And the second part of it is, you think it's making a difference?
I think it does make a difference with raising awareness, no doubt. And you know what? These people are a lot of them are sexual assault survivors, and they deserve to have a voice. And when our own government isn't listening to us, then we are taking the last stance effort, which is going to the streets and having to raise awareness in the communities and try to keep our children safe. And I think the reason why I got involved was because I'm a shift worker now, and I'm a steel worker. I work continentals, but I was also a social worker in children's mental health for about 10 years. And I worked with the brain injured. I worked as a crisis service worker. I was one of the only crisis service workers in Niagara for 3.5 years. And I was an educational assistant for the school board, so as well. And I seen all the SOGI curriculum crap going on to, you know, the critical race theory, the gender affirming dysphoria crap that's confusing the crap out of our children, rather than teaching them how to be a Canadian and how to be a good person and how to educate yourselves. And I seen the indoctrination firsthand. And I was always the social worker that was encouraging families and kids to, you know, take supplements like vitamin D, St. John's wort, 5-HTP. We live in a vitamin D indeficient climate. So I would always shy away from big pharma. I would say, oh, no, that's a last resort. We don't want that shit on our kids. Even when I was doing psychiatric consultations with Pasto, and there was children coming in and being heavily medicated at like 4 years old. And I was trying to speak out against that, and they never liked that. And then I ended up, at the end of my social work career, I ended up helping lead a native treatment healing home in Jordan for a heavily autistic child. And then I helped secure, I think it was, I don't quote me on it, I think it was like $600,000 worth of funding for this family for SSAH funding in order to incorporate Indigenous healing. And because she was Indigenous, you know, going to healing lodges and smudging ceremonies and trying to value, you know, Indigenous rights too, right? Like how to, you know, get away from the Western medicine crap that just doesn't work. So honestly, this was an opportunity for me to meet a lot of great people that care about children and care about the vicious, chaotic acts that our government is enforcing on all of us. And it's a way for me to speak out about it. And I think that my heart is in leadership and in advocacy. And, you know, I feel like when, you know, to be a good dad, you need to take care of the city that you're in too, and try to make it a safer place. And because if I die tomorrow, what am I leaving my kids behind to deal with? And it's on my mind every single day. And honestly, it eats me away a lot. I know a lot of people around me say, oh, you got to just pray for better times and, say your prayers and it all starts at home. No doubt it does. And, and you have to try and take care of your family nucleus at home. But, for me to just sit back and shut up and do nothing, it's just not in my character. So, yeah. And honestly, meeting Rob, I always saw Rob when I went to protest. I was at, the event when we ran Trudeau out of friggin' that Welland, that one steel plant. And I was at tons of Chris Sky events and seeing Rob speak. And then we were at the Dr. Hajuri's house and when the COVID was going on, and I was always vocal about, anti-shots and all that shit. And we don't get our kids vaccinated, any of that stuff. We promote homeschooling as well. But I always looked up to Rob. And like Rob said earlier, I said, I was always that guy messaging Rob and saying, oh, thanks for everything you do, but I had to get off my ass and go out and do it myself too. And it empowered me to want to be that voice too, because you know what? We need thousands of us standing up to face this bullshit that we're going through. And like we said before, that's why I encourage everybody. It's election year in our municipalities. And you know what? Even if you don't win, they're not going to let me in a rigged system win anything. But you know what they will do? They will have no choice but to hear what we have to say. And we will expose the rot and we will try to take out the rot, because that's what good men do. We don't just sit around and wait. We act, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And sorry, Ed, 1 second and then jump on. Rob, I said today on one of your posts about we got to start to do the protests in front of those politicians' home. And as well as I do, and especially me, I spent 10 years at Queen's Park while my friend was an MPP. And I've heard multiple MPPs repeatedly say there's nothing that scares the God out of them when they're standing facing down an angry crowd. That's when your message gets across. There's no need for violence, but they know you're pissed. And when you go outside their home, fuck this noontime shit. 8, 9 o'clock at night, let them have it. Like you done with Hajuri. I was there on that one too. When I met these guys out in the parking lot there. That Doug Ford, he cried like a little bitch, called the cops. He had the cops stop Kevin when Kevin was going to go serve his ass. So this is what affects him. Standing out, okay, it's great that you're doing the stuff, making the neighborhoods aware that there's pedophiles in the area. That's 100%. That, you'll never take anything away from that. But you need to change. And like I said, we got Ford, Calandra, Userhoff are all ignoring me. They won't answer. So what's our next step? Let's show up at their damn homes. That's the only thing they're going to freaking learn, because they're the ones who got the power to make the changes.
Yeah, well, if you've seen earlier this year, I reside in a little city called Welland. And in Welland, there was this monster named Daniel Senecal. What Daniel did is he already raped a 12-year-old boy. And if that wasn't good enough for Daniel Senecal, he broke into a house that was in his neighborhood and he raped a 3-year-old child who got choked violently until she needed reconstructive surgery on her bottom parts. A 3-year-old, guys, 3. So this is why we have chosen to do something about this. The very least we can do for children right now who can't speak on behalf of themselves is to get out and fight for them, because these kids can't fight. They're kids. You're here as the parent to protect your child, to provide for your child. You need to protect them first. You're sending your kids away to school every single day where they're being brainwashed and indoctrinated with Marxist ideology. They're learning about things that never even happened in Canadian history. And it's also, they turn into this voting block of people that will continue to take more and more and more from the people and give you less and less and less. And, you know, I don't know the bill offhand. I haven't studied it good enough, but there was just a bill that the Liberals tabled the other day. And it's another one of those bills where they want to take more and more away from parents and they want to give the state more power. I don't think people understand how serious this is. These people want to raise your children. These people want to teach your children. These people want to be in charge of your children, and they want to be able to do whatever they want with your children. The children do not belong to the government. The children were created by their parents. We need to protect them at all costs.
Yeah, I think the bill you might be talking about might be Bill C-16 that the federal government has tabled, and this is the femicide bullshit, the made-up word. How dare you ask your girlfriend or your wife where she's been, or how dare you ask, what have you done with that couple of $100 I gave you the other day? Literally, guys, Bill C-16 right now is in its first reading. Everybody have got to stop this and push back, because just asking those questions to your girlfriend or wife, you will be arrested. They're amending the code.
You know, people are like, you guys know me. You guys have known me long enough. There's a method to my mayhem. There always was a method to my mayhem. But these people right now, a lot of people. Why is this guy throwing up videos on the internet, boxing and fighting his friends and working out and lifting weights and acting like this testosterone-ridden alpha male? Well, it's because that's what's next on the chopping block. What can fix the problem that's going on in our country? Men. What are they trying to rid our society of? Masculinity. These people think that, say there's a dangerous shooter out in the neighborhood. These people think that a male officer should go handle that situation with a 90-pound female as their backup. They think this is normal. They think that you can use, women and children and whatever can be in the, the police ranks on the front line and the military. And you can just cut your dick off and be a girl and call yourself Bella. And it doesn't work. The insanity needs to stop. We've already completely exposed diversity, equity, and inclusion. It's nothing more than an anti-white agenda. And, it's what it is it's racism in its entirety. The same thing that all these people bitch about. That's what it is.
White genocide.
Personally, I've been witnessing this shit for the last 20 years, and it seems the way they do these things is slowly. They take it piece by piece by piece. They add to it. First it's the Soji 123. It didn't show up yesterday. It showed up 3-4 years ago. But what was there before that? They say, first thing is love is love. Like, yeah, okay, this sounds innocent enough. And here we are saying, people, we have to normalize sexual exploitation. The people that are minor, what's that term they use?
Minor
attractive people.
Yeah.
So this
minor attractive people should be like Christmas ornaments on a tree. But keep going, Ed.
But you see how it comes in? They creep it in slowly, and here we are, right? So hats off to you guys for saying enough is enough. We're going to do something. We're going to fight back. And time is just flying. And here's where I wanted to go. We spoke about this a few weeks ago, Rob. People know there's a need for what you guys are doing, but you guys are pretty much focused St. Catharines area, correct?
St. Catharines, Welland, Port Colborne, Fort Erie, Niagara on the Lake.
Niagara region, right, Rob?
Niagara region. if you want to talk about the Goofbusters things in a whole, you know, in a perfect world, people are going to see what we're doing, and they're going to take our idea and they're going to run with it across the country. If there's anybody who thinks they have what it takes to be strong, be a leader, be disciplined, and not make any stupid mistakes, I would encourage you to reach out to me. But you know, you really need to have the right type of person to do this stuff as well. You'll notice like Bam Bam is very good at this. When you kind of have what I call, you know, a controlled protest demonstration, whatever you want to call this. I mean, it's a community awareness gathering, really. It's not, we're trying to make sure that neighbors are aware, you know, of a predator residing there so they can ensure their child's safety. Because the way that the system works is they want to ensure the pedophile's safety. And the way that the Goofbusters works is that we prioritize the child's safety, and we don't care about the predator if they get launched in a cannon over Niagara Falls or what they are. And, you know, I'm clearly being facetious and joking around, but I don't give a fuck about somebody who touches children, and I care about children. So that's where my priority is. I was just looking through my phone as you're talking about the Soji 123, and I'm just going to pull it up on my Twitter quick here on my phone so I can tell you. But, you know, I was reminded as soon as you said that yesterday I had a parent who sent me in. They couldn't believe it. So I will proudly say the school's name is Senator Gibson Public School in Beamsville, Ontario. So for anyone in Niagara, this is happening in your school as well, because I used to work for the school board, as you know, both of them. Okay, so this is what's come down the pipeline. In kindergarten, children are asked, okay, are they a boy, a girl, gender fluid, gender non-conforming, non-binary, trans boy man, a questioning trans girl, trans boy, non-binary, gender conforming, two-spirit. I don't know about you, but when I was in senior kindergarten, I thought I was fucking Hulk Hogan. I was a kid. I was in senior kindergarten. I wasn't thinking about people's sexes and genders and this lunacy that makes absolutely no sense. These people are just child grooming pedophiles. It's all there is to it. And you know, a lot of the other public will do things like support pedophile protectors. And a great example of this is these people screaming out in the abyss. You've probably seen, I'm going to pay no attention to these people, but there's a collective of girls who have done some good things in our area, and I applaud their efforts. But they've also done a lot to countersignal the progression that we've made, and then they've gone out to do the same thing. And what I'm really trying to get everyone to focus on is that these people don't care. We can't go, oh, let's go have a coffee with the politician and take our picture with them, and we'll put the picture on the internet, and we're so fucking cool because some scumbag politician will take a picture with us. You know what I mean? That person isn't even a man to me. I don't even want to talk to him. Because you know why? You're giving Doug Ford a purple ribbon. Doug Ford can take this pen right now and invoke Christopher's Law, okay? Get familiar with it if you don't know what it is. Doug Ford could make tomorrow, he could put a public sex offender registry across this province. So the pressure needs to get put on Ford. It doesn't need people, oh yeah, why don't you call out the Liberals? You think the Liberals are going to do anything? Come on, why would I waste my time?
Mm-hmm. And if I think I know who you're talking about, I believe it was Sam Oosterhoff who came out and they gave each other little ribbons. You know, piss on that little puke. He's the one who won't answer my fucking emails. I've already put the emails.
Stefanos.
He ignored it all.
see, this is my other problem too, is, you want to get excited because you met with Sam Oosterhoff? Do you even know who you're meeting with? Do you realize Sam Oosterhoff is the one who was big against what was going on with the no more lockdowns, the one who helped Ford bring in these new bylaws to charge people like me because the police wouldn't even break their oath to charge me? This man went to Betty's restaurant. Don't ever forget this, in Chippewa. And he was writing posts to us every day. Stay away from your family. Don't have Thanksgiving dinners. Don't get together. We are humans. We need that love. We need that connection. We need our peers. He did everything he could. Don't ever forget it, to make sure you couldn't see your family. You couldn't be with your family. You couldn't be together. You couldn't keep your community together. He did all of this while he was at Betty's restaurant in Chippewa with 50 of his family members, and they took a picture together while we were on a provincial-wide lockdown. They broke the lockdown and then posted it on the internet with no mask on, no social distancing, mocking you. These are the people you want to work with? I want to hold these motherfuckers accountable, and we need to build something better.
Well, and you're absolutely right, because he did get busted. He was having a party, and none of them were wearing masks or anything. And I do know Sam very well, by the way, guys. I've debated him. That's who I run in that riding, and I destroyed him and Joe Kinney in not the last election, the election before that. But what's interesting is in 2017 is when he was elected, and that's because Tim Hudak. Imagine that, head of Robert Land Academy when we shut it down. But he was also the leader of the PC party, but he had stepped down, so they had a by-election, and everybody knew little Sammy Oosterhoff, a little fucking kid, knows nothing. He's going to be a yes man. You know that automatically, and he will remain a yes man. I told him that night to grow a set of balls and not be a yes man, but obviously my advice didn't help him. But I did say at the end of the day there, if you think you're going to get anything new from electing him and the PC party again, you got a better chance of picking up a turd by its clean end. In other words, you're going to get nothing. Have fun. There is no clean end on a turd. A turd is a turd. And look how much shit he's turned our province into, chased all this business out, costed a bunch of jobs and livelihoods. And look, now they're firing a whole shitload again. 30,000 Ford fired in 2019, just before the scamdemic, and now he's firing a whole shitload more. So there you go, guys.
The guy does the same thing nonstop. He, carries water for the Liberals, and then when it's getting closer to election time, he gives you a little bit of something. And he's like, oh, yeah. And people are like, oh, that's great. Do you not remember who this guy is?
Yeah.
Do you not remember who was making all the money? Do you not remember who put the stickers on the floor? Do you not know who owned that business? Do you,
it was done purposely, because Sam's a very tall guy. And, he's a little cutie. So all the girls instantly go goo goo gaga over the guy immediately. And, here's a little ribbon. Oh, by the way, we got a little something for you too. So that's how they do that. They manipulate the public.
And to be fair, the reason that ended up in the headache it did is I didn't want to dunk on these girls. It's just like I took them under my wing. I was tagging them in the post every day. I was bringing their name up every day. I was doing podcasts with people. I helped them build their shit because I believed in them that much. And I was just disappointed that I was like, these politicians aren't going to do nothing. As soon as you start talking to them, you're taking away from exactly what we're trying to build. We're trying to get people out of the house, into the street, having conversations, being disciplined, using stronger language, using stronger methods, coming together in community events and strategizing and speaking about how we can truly lobby for parents' interests to protect their children.
Yeah, and you know, and by the way, guys, when I'm saying this, I'm not cutting the girls down in any way, shape, or form. I admire and I appreciate exactly what they're doing. And I'll still support them in what they're doing because they're on the right path. Who do you go after? You go after the politicians. They're the legislators. They're the legislators. I'm just saying this is the tactics they do because you know the second he comes walking out like the soy boy he is, you can see if you watch the video, you'll see everybody gets there. There's no more defensiveness there. There's no nothing. They should have been all yelling at that little puke. Sam, you take this message back to freaking Cheesecake while he's having his cheesecake, and you tell him we want this change and we want it now. We're gonna be here every day until he does it, and we're gonna come to your home if we have to, and we'll be outside your door every day till you're sick and tired of it. And this is what you got to do. You can't let them deflect everything and push you away. You know, I really like Sam a lot. I really do. I just don't like his party and what he's doing. As a person, he's great. As a politician, no, you're Satan to me.
I just wanted to address Carol's comment there. She mentioned something about not all girls are that way, and I just wanted to be clear. Yeah, like some of the strongest people that stand beside us are women. 100%, Carol, you're right. So I don't want you to think I'm dunking on women because that's not what I meant to do at all. However, people need to realize that when we go to do these actions, I'm trying to rally men to be there. If you're not as strong enough to do, you know, what I do or Ray does or what Jimmy does, that's okay. But it's always nice to have you there because, you know, we need to be reminded that one day when we're there trying to let other parents know so their kids don't get raped in their neighborhood, that on the other side of that door, there's going to be a pedophile that runs out and comes at me. And I'm ready for that. And I can't wait to teach that pedophile what happens when he runs at me and takes a swing. I'm never someone who will incite violence, mainly because I have children and Jess, who I love, and I need to be here to protect them and be there for them. And that's where my heart will always be. But if somebody, you know, is going to run out and you know, take a swing at me, I'll finish that. But that being said, that's why I talk about why I think it's important for men to be there, because men serve a purpose in this world. And it's not so a bunch of men can jump in and do this and do that. We don't want violence. We never want violence. That's the last thing we want. Believe me. I don't think you understand how hard the work is that me, Ray, and Jimmy put into ourselves to make sure we're completely in control of ourselves. We're completely in control of our actions, and we can completely make sure that anyone around us who may have trauma from being sexually abused, we can be there for, we can support, and we can ensure they don't get themselves in trouble. This is actually a much larger job than people anticipate. When we go into a weekend doing what we're doing, I don't think people truly understand the amount of work that has went into what's been planned for the entire week, and how every single person, many who are anonymous, who are involved in the Goof Busters, play a specific role in ensuring safety for children, for women, for everyone. There is people everywhere that are doing a job to ensure the situation is peaceful, is lawful, but is putting directly as much pressure as you possibly can at the forefront, because these pedophiles should feel uncomfortable in the Goof Busters region. They should feel very uncomfortable.
Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead, Ed.
Okay, I've been sitting here and quietly. Gotta set the record straight. Doug Ford did move from his Rexdale home, and it only took us showing up there a few times. Second time we showed up, or the third time, he asked us to play road hockey, which we obliged. We did play road hockey in front of his house. They were still pissed off though, and they still sent in the cops. They still intimidated us. Nobody there ever got charged because nobody was doing anything wrong. But the fact that we were coming up in front of his house every morning from like 10 till noon, and then we'd go to the rallies, that bugged the shit out of him. He did not want to know that people knew where he lived. And this is the thing. We never threatened him. All we wanted him to do was come out and actually talk about what's going on. But he didn't even have the balls to do that. Now, what I applaud is that you guys are going out to these pedophiles' homes, and they're convicted. These are convicted pedophiles. These are not people that have been allegedly or allegations that they're pedophiles, correct?
Correct. Yes. And the other thing that people don't see and that we keep, like, this whole thing that's happened, it actually paints like the most beautiful picture I've ever seen in my life. But it doesn't bother me because I know what goes on, and I'm sure Jimmy's the same way. But it's incredible. This thing's insane. Like if there was some person who was going to do some type of documentary on this, it would be insane, because you have people we receive messages on the daily, like every day. And it'll be, a mother. I'll be like, thank you so much for what you're doing. I'm 40 years old. I've been doing drugs my entire life. I've been drinking and drowning myself in vodka. All of a sudden, I'm sober. I'm talking to a counselor. I'm going to the gym every day, and I'm joining you guys on Saturday. And it's like, there's no over exaggerating. Like, this is literally what's happening. I've never seen a community like come together like this and heal. And like, when we first started this, there's all these people that are coming out that are like liberals, far left, conservatives, far right. It doesn't matter what you are. Everybody's united in their hate for these pedophile scums. And that wasn't good enough. Bill Sawchuk had to go and write an article and try and take down an anti-pedophile movement. Who wants to destroy a pedophile movement? I really want to know why Bill Sawchuk, wants to do that so bad. Why is Bill Sawchuk so determined? What does Bill Sawchuk have against people who don't want pedophiles in their community? Why does Bill Sawchuk think that there's so much going on in Niagara, but, one of the important things to address is the people who are fighting against pedophiles? Why is that so important to Bill Sawchuk? I can't figure it out.
Well, we have to find out his connections. Does he have a connection to Antifa, anti-hate? Does he have a connection to, the Communist Party?
We know he's got he's got a very deep connection to our little friend Grant, that likes to chase mothers and gay people out of the country. But
that's exactly who I was.
If you want to play identity politics, we can do that, Grant, can't we? Remember when you chased a mother out of the country? Remember when you called her racist and she had a black son? Remember when a gay guy had to move to a different country? Remember what you did, Grant? You want to play identity politics? These people are a bunch of fucking faggots, and we're done with them. They have no power. They mean nothing. Fuck Grant. Fuck the Anti-Hate Network. Fuck all of you. Sorry. I haven't got on a show like this in a while, guys. I had to get it off my chest.
Feel at home. Our home's your home. So that's exactly who I was going to, because Grant LaFleche, you remember the St. Catharines Standard had a $7.1 million defamation lawsuit for all this. Grant LaFleche was actually literally stalking this person. And he's the one who called the police on this person over Hergy. Or whatever the fuck it was.
Imagine calling yourself a feminist, walking around in women's high heels while you're scaring the fuck out of a woman to the point you need to chase her into a different country. Imagine doing that.
Insane. That's insane. Yeah, it's unfortunate they had to.
What a cool feminist.
Well, what kind of a feminist would freaking do that to a female?
Right?
Okay, next question.
Go ahead.
we're getting way off a topic. I want to.
We are way off topic. You're right.
I wanted to bring Rob and Jimmy on because I want this thing to spread. There's a lot of people watching us, so there's going to be a lot of people watching us soon in the near future. Share this out, guys, that have been affected by this, that think strongly to stand up against this, and they've been just thinking, what can I do? Rob, you got this thing going through that pedophile that sodomized that or did whatever to that 3-year-old.
Yeah. I mean, that's really how this took off. Like, this just happened way too close to home for me. Is like I said, I don't want to get all emotional and screaming and all that again. This Daniel Senecal guy, he already did this to a 12-year-old kid. Then he broke into a house around the corner and did it to a 3-year-old to the point she needed her private parts reconstructed. A lot of people like to leave that part out. I don't leave that out on purpose because for far too long now, we do things like, let's change the word rape because it might trigger someone to sexual assault. Why are we getting more compassionate on these words when these issues are getting worse and worse and spiraling out of control, right? So I really disagree with that language, and we got to stop using it, and we got to start, being realist and dealing with the reality we face in front of us. But yeah, so that's how this started, was with Daniel Senecal. And listen, the guy's still in jail now because I would argue probably because of the reaction that happened in front of the Thorold jail. We've never seen something like that in Canadian history. And to be honest with you, out of everything that's been accomplished in the past 5-6 years, that's probably the proudest day of my life, was that day when this whole community was in front of the Thorold jail and surrounded it. And it couldn't have went any better because it was a complete psyop. I don't know who planned it. I don't know who did it. All I know is the person who executed the plan did a good job. Everyone was drawn in front of the courthouse in St. Catharines. Then when all the police and resources and everyone were there, I don't know what happened, but everybody took off and went to the Thorold jail before anyone else could get there, and no one knew where they were going. It was a whisper campaign, I heard.
I held them up.
It went off, yeah. It went off perfect, and everyone was able to get in there. And nobody wants to, it's not like nothing was done wrong. You know what I mean? But
it was a great day, Rob. It was a great day. I was there, and I fully commend everybody coming down. It was so beautiful, especially when you can rolling in.
When you have a group of that many people, like there was, I don't know numbers, I'm not good at that, but there was hundreds and hundreds, if not more, in that surrounding that jail. And for people to be that mad and that upset and in that much distress, and see everyone keep it together and not do anything stupid is it just shows you how sick of this people are. And like, I shouldn't have to spend my entire life fighting this, but here we are. Nobody voted for this.
Hang on. Justin Trudeau got voted in twice. Justin Trudeau that they caught on film with a couple underage boys in was it Costa Rica, if I'm not mistaken? People have a short memory about these things.
Yeah, he looks like he's with an underage boy right now with Katy Perry. Isn't that girl at the World Economic Forum or whatever?
Oh yeah.
Does she have an Adam's apple?
She looks like she's transitioning right now.
She does.
So I want to address a comment I seen. I think it's very important. This is why I had it up so long there, Ed. So Tommy Temper brings up a thing saying pedo. I think he assumes he's saying pedo, so he doesn't get banned or restricted. But you see, it's overused, just like racist, misogynist, xenophobe. But Tommy, I'm going to address this, and you're right. It is, but you remember there was a certain someone in Parliament that said if we repeat it often enough and loud enough, the people will believe it. So, and the point of this that I'm bringing this up for is pedophile needs to be used repeatedly, even if it's overused, because they are literally trying to change that narrative to being what? Minor attracted people, because pedophile is not accepted by society. So if they reinvent it, just like they've done communism and call it socialism now, if they reinvent it, then it's more socially accepted. So this is what you have to learn, or not have to learn. You should be aware of this. This is why the wording is being used the way it is, unfortunately. And I agree with Rob. Don't sugarcoat the shit. Say it how it is. This is why they do it, because it becomes socially acceptable, period.
Yeah. I like to make sure, like, now, like I said, grapes earlier, right? But I mean, I'm trying to, because we have they try to restrict us on everything we put out on social media. So we have to kind of sugarcoat it. But when I'm typing now, I'm using symbols, like, just so it's not typing it out perfectly, but people get what I'm talking about. So, I mean, I get what's Rob's saying, but we also, like, then if I just type out and not sugarcoat anything, I'm restricted right away. Like, constantly. I say, oh, let's put the fucking petals in a wood chipper, and then I'm restricted already right away.
Say that anyways, because we don't want to promote violence. We don't want nothing. We want to keep everything the way it is, because
yeah,
in jail is counterproductive to what we want. So the thing here is, actually, I want, Rob's had a lot of FaceTime here. We haven't heard too much from you. I know you are looking to run for public office. I commend you for that. I've told everyone over the years they should be running for public office. I've run municipally, I've run provincially. I haven't run federally, but I'll keep running. And this you have to do regardless if you want change, because that's what the commies, the Antifas, and everyone else have done. Jimmy, just give people a rundown. Who are you? What do you stand for? And for office here, you want to get there, get people behind you. Now's a good time.
Yeah. So I'm a Canadian father. And like I said before, I was a social worker for 10 years, and I'm a steel worker now in Hamilton. And I've been doing that for the last almost 7 years. And I look around our country and I read so much stuff that what's going on, and it's not a safe place that I want my children to leave behind if I pass away, or God forbid, right? But I feel like it's time now for every man not to just say, like, oh, thanks for doing what you're doing. I think it's time for everybody to step into their power to really try to advocate for a better future, because if we don't, I think this is our last shot. Like, I think that personally, I think this could be our last election personally. And I don't even think that, me personally, I don't even think I will get in, but I think that I would be stupid to not try. I think that everybody would be, honestly, I think that everybody should try to run in their municipalities. If it's not mayor, then let's all try to correlate or plan. And we get like-minded people in every city running for councillor positions, so we all have voices, and it's a planned effect inside to work the inside and expose the rot and get the message out about how corrupt and shitty our system is. But I mean, there's also, some days I feel defeated, and some days I'm like, should I even run? Is it worth it to step into the belly of the devil and try and, go and expose all these fucking tyrants? But I don't know. I just feel like it leaves me no other choice. And I think that I'm more useful not being a steel worker. I think I'm more useful trying to lead our city. Because, St. Catharines is the garden city, like they like to try and call it. And it used to be like that. But now I call it the garbage city because of everything that's been going on in our city, in our region. It's just so devastating. I mean, my one plan, and I haven't told a lot of people this, but There's 2 city councilors per ward in St. Catharines alone. I haven't even looked at the other cities, okay? But you look at the money there. So there's say $35,000 to $40,000 per councilor. So there's 2 per ward. There's 6 wards in St. Catharines. That's $210,000 to $250,000 that I would say eliminate it. Why do you need 2 city councilors per ward? Why? I mean, and another thing, I was just reading 2 nights ago, I looked at the mayor's expenses, Matt Cisco's expenses from 2022, and it was at $42,000. And there's only up to 2024 is out, and it went up to $182,000. And this guy's making $118,000 a year. That he says, and he gets a car allowance and cell phone. His cell phone expense was over $3,000 alone. Like the amount of events that
While you're on this topic of, sorry, this is just a good interjection, especially for Ed's following and Stefanos following to hear. While you're on this topic, Jimmy, and you're talking about running for the mayor of St. Catharines, and you'll probably be running against Matt Cisco.
Yeah.
Why don't you let the audience know what happened, what I seen at the park, what was put out on the internet, how other parents put in a police report and all that, how the police protected it, how you went, and it took years until you could even bring it up at council because they blocked me and wouldn't let me talk. Go into all of that right now.
Yeah, so I went and spoke at regional council, and I was I was interrupted the whole time by Haley Bateman. She cut me off, and because I brought up how they held a pride event in Montebello Park in St. Catharines, where they were having transgender, whatever you want to call them. It was men dressed up as women in stripper outfits and lingerie. And they said it was art, and they were exploring, portraying. They were showing pornographic imagery on Bristol boards. We have all the proof, and they had a wardrobe malfunction where the guy's freaking testicles fell out in front of children, and all these children are up. All these parents are bringing their children to throw money on stage, like these guys are freaking strippers in our own public park. And I brought it up at council, and I was called a homophobic and a transphobic and a religious extremist. And I said a prayer at the end of my delegation, and I had to also, I was cut off like 2 minutes, and I tried to get my time back, and they wouldn't even let me go back up. And Haley Bateman there, the one who celebrated Charlie Kirk's death online, who I called a fucking every name in the book. And I didn't threaten her or anything, but I called her out about it. And a lot of people put in formal complaints about her, and it's an open investigation apparently still. So I won't touch on that too much, but she shook her head the whole time while I'm praying. And like, that's our freedom to religion. That's our freedom of expression. Like, honestly, like she
just not your religion. You're not allowed to.
Yeah. Well, yeah, she's pro-Palestine. I mean, she should go to Palestine, see how she's received there, being a fucking lesbian.
Let her fight for their rights, see what happens to her, That's it. But you're absolutely right there, Jimmy and Rob. I've seen those meetings with Cisco and what they've done to you. And
me too.
Don't forget, you got me. We need to take this to legal. You got me. Not a problem. We've been very successful in the past on numerous things. So anytime. But what you're speaking of is something that I was shocked when Matt Cisco first was elected. Now, I don't know if this committee was made before or after he was elected, but there was a committee made who would decide when there's a job that the city puts out as a tender to the public, that if they were white, they would not get the tender. So, and they had their meetings online. I was shocked. It was the Communist Party leader at the time, again.
Sala.
I don't know, Jabba the Hutt. That's what I call him. I can never say his name or anything. But regardless, he was the chair, I believe, in the head there. But, you know, when you start doing a public tender, it is just that, a public tender. They should be taking in the cost and the quality of work and making a decision, not based on your skin color. That I cannot believe that no damn companies in St. Catharines or anywhere in St. Catharines took them to court on that, on a constitutional issue. I am shocked. But you remember, a better Niagara, a better Grimsby, all these are better places about 4 elections ago were all backed and funded by who? George Soros' son. So now this is why I'm saying we got to run, we got to take over, and that's the bottom line.
100%.
This guy you're talking about, Sally Wazarudan, is or was the head of the Niagara Region Anti-Racist Committee, I believe they were called.
Yep.
They received your tax money, taxpayer money, to get this launched off the ground, meaning that your counselors were okay with the line of messaging they were putting out. The line of messaging they put out, you can still find on their website, says, you know, you can go to this diversity, equity, and inclusion meeting, whatever, and if a BIPOC person is speaking, that make sure you don't occupy their oxygen. Make sure you don't breathe the same air because what? Because I'm white? Like, we're here to fight against discrimination by discriminating another race. And then we're going to call those people racist. Okay, you're a good goy. You know what I mean? Like, it's ridiculous.
Rob, quickly, can you put in contact info or an email into the private chat? I want to run that on the bottom of the screen. There's people that are going to be watching this in the future.
Absolutely.
Thinking, how can I get the Goof Busters to come to my neighborhood? And you guys will find out where the pedos are hiding out, correct?
Yep.
And
actually, yep. So, I was just going to say, Jimmy could actually kind of let you guys know what happened today quickly, if you're not in a rush to get off Ed, about pedophile Joe, because it ties into this weekend. This will probably, I would imagine this weekend will be the biggest event that has ever happened in front of someone's house in Ontario. And remember, I said that because I really think that's what's going to happen. I mean, maybe not as big as a couple of the ones at Doug Ford's, but I think there's going to be a lot of people that come out this weekend, and Jimmy can tell you why.
Yeah, well, it's a repeat offender out, and he was a Santa Claus and putting kids on his laps and raping kids and everything else. And he's been let out on bail again, and he's been located, and we have to put him on notice. I'm going to be working night shifts, but all weekend. But I still plan to be in Port Colborne for 9:30, because honestly, I have to take that hour out of my day and make sure that we all stand together, unified, and put these freaking pedos on blast, because a lot of people don't know his whereabouts, and he keeps getting out. So, you know, we have no choice. This government, they're leaving us no choice other than men to step up and women and children to come out and to raise awareness and step into their power and just show spread the love and light onto the dark. And you know what? It's going to be freaking cold again, but I mean, they've left us no choice. These, and honestly, the more we talk about Doug Ford's house, it makes me want to know where he moved to, because that is going to be my next stop. Because I've had a fucking enough, honestly. Like, I know I'm running for mayor, and I'm a little vulgar, and I'm a little upset, and I'm emotional. But honestly, I've had enough of the political theater. I've had enough of the sugar coating and like acting like everything's okay. And, oh, we're just going to do a photo op and have some coffees and act like everything's okay. No, we want a public sex offender registry now. We don't want these predators back out on the streets. They need to be segregated from society, and they need to be, like I support capital punishment, but I mean, we probably will never get that. But we should get them segregated from society. They should be cleaning floors with toothbrushes and cleaning toilets with their freaking toothbrushes. And I've had enough of them, honestly. Oh, Trump talking.
I don't think that's Trump talking at all. That's common sense talking. And,
common sense.
This is the other thing, Jimmy. I'm with you 100% on that stuff, because everything's gone just complete haywire. Like I can't believe I'm seeing what I'm seeing. It's fucking crazy. It's crazy what it's gotten to.
Mm-hmm. And if we want to bring up Trump, I mean, a lot of us have read the Epstein files, and we know a lot's been redacted, but we know he's not innocent either, and we won't get into that. But they're honestly all in on it. You got Zion Dawn to the west, you got friggin' WEF, Newer World Order to the east, or to the south, you got Zion Dawn. But we are in the middle of a big spiritual warfare, and we have to act fast, because
what's the scary part too is, like, the scariest part about this whole situation is it's like parents are like begging the system, like, we pay you, like, can you please just do your job? Because the ship is like steering in a very like not good direction, and like we're trying to get the steering wheel, and like we're trying to say, like, no, like, we have faith, like something good has to come. Like, we need to, like, we're trying so hard to just follow the law and not get in trouble, and like have you people just put a list out and protect children. Yeah. Why do we need to come on podcasts and fucking talk to people every single day to get you to protect children who are being fucking raped? Why? That's your fucking job.
Yep, 100,000%.
And guys, you've seen the data.
Because if you don't do your job, someone's going to end up doing it, and we don't want that.
And
our fucking kids.
The RCMP has put out a database now that they're saying is a public one for.
I know, I'm all over it.
Yeah.
You can keep an eye on me. You can put cameras on my fucking house. You can watch me fucking coach kids. I don't do nothing wrong. Good luck. Keep having fun, Jesus.
This is what I see. This is what I see, and I'm still trying to get to the bottom of it. I've been digging into it quite a bit, guys. By the way, and what's the point of putting a registry out there when the registry is empty? Like, don't fucking tell me that CPEC, who the RCMP is in charge of, all right, CPEC, they have all the fucking pedophiles. They have everyone in their database. So why would you open a database and not have the information of the fucking pedophiles? And then I seen someone somewhere, I don't know who it was, they said, don't worry, guys, there's nothing there now, but it'll get populated. What are you doing? You're fucking putting ones that are getting convicted now, and you're going to put them in? What about the millions of them are currently before the court, currently that just been convicted? What the fuck is that? That's something that I call lip service to make you shut up.
Yeah,
it's almost
shut up.
There's almost a part of you that's like, are they just tormenting us like this on purpose? Because then something bad's going to happen, and then they're going to get to come swooping in with the answer. We know that's what they're trying to make happen everywhere in this country, and no one wants to give that. And then it's like, at the same time, like, we're sick of, like, every day I wake up in the morning, and the first thing after I get the kids, situated in that, and look at the phone, and it's like, you open your phone and like you can't have a sip of your coffee before it's like, this kid was raped down the road. This kid was raped over here. And then like it's like Bam Bam calls me, oh, did you hear about these 3 kids that got raped? And then it's like, okay, Bam Bam, I'm going to put you down. We're going to go to the courthouse now and listen to about all these kids that were raped. And then when we're done that, we'll go home and you know, be fucking men and work out and be mentally present for our children and our families and pretend like this is fucking normal. Then we're going to go to bed and we're going to wake up tomorrow and we're going to do that over again. We're fucking sick of doing this.
Yeah.
And there's so many men that reach out to me and it's fucking scary because I run into these people and you know what they do? We don't want to go in front of houses and call these people out with you guys. We don't want to do that. We're done doing that. Come get us when you're ready to kick windows in and start grabbing these people. And I'm like, no, that's not what we want. That's not what we want, guys. And I have to de-escalate these people. So I don't know how much more clearer we can make it to these people that we're actually doing everything we can to make it so people aren't this way. Like, guys, put out a registry.
Yeah.
No, everybody just wants their children safe, man. We can fight about the politics all we want. Can we not just all get together and get behind not wanting pedophiles to touch children?
Exactly.
Let's all come together for that right now, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, Rob, you just brought up a very important point, and it's not about politics. This should not have fucking political fucking lines. They should not be there. This is not a political issue. This is a human fucking issue. All right?
I will go. Any communist, any fascist, any of you that want to come and stand with me in front of a pedophile's house, communist, you're welcome. Fascist, you're welcome. I don't care who you are, what you belong with, what fucking color your skin is, if you're fucking purple, yellow, orange. You want to come and stand against pedophiles? Let's fucking go, partner.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
absolutely right. Yeah, and Jimmy, yeah, you know it. You know it. I just hope you can get in people back, Jimmy, when it comes time for municipal elections. Please do. If you don't get your own people in, you're going to get shit. Trust me.
Yep.
Rob, I got to correct you on one thing. I hate to do this. You're probably too young to remember this. Ever heard of Paul Bernardo?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, we remember.
How many kids died? Not only were they raped, the things they did to them were horrible. Horrible. And then they ended up dying. And one of them was actually from the St. Catharines area. So,
yeah.
Kristen, I think it was Kristen French, right? Or no?
Yeah. And Leslie Mahaffey.
Yeah, Mahaffey and French. Actually, I was at the house there, Ed, where it happened in Port Dalhousie when they tore it down and before they tore it down. And the piece of shit lawyer that made copies of the videos. They made the one sick bastard.
My uncle, I should probably just share this story quickly. My uncle, he always takes a lot of pride in this story, and he probably wouldn't give me permission to share it, but I'm going to anyways, because I think everyone could deserve to hear this quickly with all the stress towards pedophiles. He talks about how he was in jail one time in the same jail as Bernardo, and how it took him like 3 weeks to plan, and he pissed into a cup and like had it all hidden up under his stuff in the shower, and he got to walk by Bernardo's wing and fucking throw piss in his face.
Yeah, good.
And that's a good story. I don't know. I think that's deserved.
Yeah,
personally,
yeah.
But yeah.
I think that's the last time the courts actually stood up for Canadians, from what I can recall with this issue.
Well, Carla Homolka's out, so
will she reoffend though? That's a question.
Apparently she's married with kids, and she was a volunteer at her kids' school in Quebec, and I don't know. I think it's
imagine that.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're gonna cut this off. We usually try to keep it under an hour. Blew that away again.
Yeah,
guys,
if you guys, sorry,
ahead,
Ed, I was just going to say to you quickly, and then I'll shut up finally. I appreciate you having us on. Ed and Stefanos are good dudes, and you know, we all go way back together. So it's actually kind of nice we did this, because we've done a lot of shows together and had fun times, and you know, we've been chipping away in the same direction. So yeah, check out the Goof Busters Facebook page too. I'll come on with you guys anytime you want. Maybe next time I'll even be a little bit more prepared. I enjoy talking with you guys always. So maybe I can actually like write down a bunch of talking points before next time, Ed, and we can like get right into it.
Yeah. So the main thing about Goof Busters is they find out where the pedos are. They're not able to walk among us peacefully and in no fear of reoffending. And that's the problem, I think, is at the core here. We don't want these guys reoffending because they're getting out of jail. They're not, I don't know, maybe I'm speculating here, but I don't think these guys are rehabilitated.
No, not at all.
Women can do this kind of shit too. It's not just men. And if they're not rehabilitated, will they reoffend? I think parents need to know that these people are amongst us, but they don't know, and that's how they're able to reoffend. And that's the key about Goof Busters is the fact that you guys show up, you stand in front of the house, everyone in the neighborhood's going to know you're there. People are talking to the neighbors. They're going to say, why were all these strangers in front of this house talking about a pedophile? Says, oh my goodness, I had no idea.
Yeah.
Parents are going to be a little bit more careful about their kids associating with these people. And it's right versus wrong. If you don't know there's a problem, you can't identify that there's a potential impact or a potential threat. How can you protect your kids against these people? And I think that's the core of Goof Busters, not to cause them harm, but just to let the neighbors know that there's something's not right in this household. Be careful. Right or wrong? What's your take?
You couldn't have said it any better. And I just also wanted to end the show on this note. Statistically speaking, it happens. If there's any pedophiles that are on here watching right now, I just want to let you know that you're going to see this face and that I'm going to find you and I'm going to come and make sure that I put the fear, the shame, and blame that you put on that victim. I'm going to take that and I'm going to put that on your life for the rest of your life.
All right, guys. Jimmy, final comment, please.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate this, and I'll be more prepared next time too. What's that?
Don't touch kids.
Yeah, don't touch kids. That's right.
Everything will be okay. That's it.
Yeah.
Don't touch kids.
Exactly. So, yeah, and I appreciate this. And like I said, this is going to be a long year. I officially can't declare. Nobody can declare if you're running municipally until May the 1st. But May the 1st till August 26th is when you can get your signage, like you get people to vouch for you to run. So I'll be working on that starting May 1st. And I encourage others to do that in their cities too, because I think that's imperative for us to get our message out and to make all these politicians and these educators and these judges, make them aware that we don't respect their pedophilia motive anymore, and they need to keep their hands off our children. So thank you again. I appreciate it.
All right, guys. Thanks for coming on. Stefanos, quickly, final comment.
Hey, look, my final comment's going to be exactly what everybody on the show tonight's been echoing. I'm a survivor myself. I don't know if Rob and Jimmy are, but I am a survivor, and I know exactly what you're talking about. And I would have loved to have Ray on here tonight, so I got to do this. What these guys are all doing, what these men, I'm not going to call them guys, these men are doing is bringing up awareness for their communities to put the shame, the blame, and the fear back on the pedophiles, all right? Nobody likes a pedophile. That's for Ray.
Nobody likes a pedophile.
Nobody.
Okay, guys, I'm going to leave you with this. If you found any value in this conversation, people need to know what's going on. People need to know how they can get active. Goofbusters@proton.me. Email Rob or one of the group. These guys will get you going in the right direction. They'll coach you. They'll find out who's in your area. They'll help you raise awareness. It only takes one person in an area, correct, Rob, to start this?
Yep.
And it grows.
It grows.
So just to let you guys know, I haven't been around. I've been at all of your gatherings, as many as I can make them to. I'm not in the area right now. I'm putting some municipalities in their place. So I'm a good many miles or many hours away right now. So, but I'm going to try to make it down this weekend to at least one of them. Hopefully it's not, I can make it early enough. So that's the big problem. If not, I'd like to meet up with you as if I do make it down.
So much for final comment, eh? See you later, guys. Share it out.
Sounds good, guys. Thank you.